Welcome to Raz My Berries. I'm Ryan.
I'm Sam, and this is the first episode of our new podcast called Sidetracked. Because when we're recording our videos for Raz My Berries reviews, we occasionally have to cut out a lot because we get off topic.
Or in this
very
case,
quickly.
Sidetracked. Hence the name.
Yes.
So, in this momentous occasion of our pilot episode for this podcast, we have decided that we are going to talk about one of our favorite movie franchises, Star Wars. But in this case, we're mostly going to be talking about the newest one that'll be coming out this December, The Last Jedi.
Which I just have to start off by saying that Ryan got a very panicked call from me the night that the tickets went on sale because we're going to a Cinemark which has reserved seating for their showings, and I got on there after the tickets. Well, it was a little while after the tickets first went on sale, and I realized that we had to get on top of buying our tickets that night because otherwise we weren't going to be able to go. Well, we probably could have found a later time.
Yeah, we could have.
To go to the premiere that night.
Yep.
But Ryan works early. Ryan goes to work early in the morning.
Yeah, and I need my sleep.
And I occasionally go to work early in the morning. I don't know if I will that day, but
yeah.
We wanted to get to one of the earlier showings.
Yeah, because this showing was going to be on a Thursday night, which is a lot of the advanced premiere showings are now the night before, and not doing midnight showings anymore. It's more of
they do.
I mean, they do, but
there is a showing at midnight.
There is a showing at midnight, but now they've done it to the point where it is now before midnight.
That's because it got so popular.
Yeah. That they couldn't hold them in anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But so with The Last Jedi, we're just going to be mostly talking about.
And we did get our tickets, by the way.
We did get our tickets, yes. We got our tickets reserved. We're going to be ready for it. We're really excited because we really enjoyed when we'll see it when we review it. The Force Awakens. So a lot of fan theories on this movie. Some of them being pretty darn ridiculous, almost as ridiculous as The Force Awakens when it came out.
Watch Mojo, I feel, is kind of like BuzzFeed.
Mm-hmm.
They can have some good videos.
They do have some pretty good ones.
Talking about
top
different movies, different aspects of movies. Excuse me. But they also have some really terrible movie or videos, and we just watched their top 10 predictions for episode 8.
The realist, like the most likely theories that will come true.
And I was sitting there the entire time going, no.
It was painful for Sam to watch the whole thing.
There is no realistic way that half of these theories can happen.
Mm-hmm. Because as big as Star Wars fans we know, and as much as I pay attention to pretty much all the details, because when I can explain each movie to my grandmother in explicit detail from scene to scene, which I did with the prequels, you can say I pay a little too much attention to when it comes to Star Wars. But yeah, some of the theories are just ridiculous, such as Luke turning to the dark side. There's so many things wrong with that theory right there.
There's no reason for him to turn to the dark side.
There is no reason.
I mean, there was kind of for Anakin. that's kind of arguable.
That we'll get to that when we get
Um,
review that.
But obviously not for Luke. That's just it's very out there. Another one they had was Rey is Obi-Wan's granddaughter.
I think
Obi-Wan would have had to have found a wife, which
and if you watch the Clone Wars cartoon, he had somebody he loved in that cartoon that he almost left the Order for, but and spoiler alert, she dies. Darth Maul comes back and kills her, pretty much. And I'm getting that, and I know you can't see him right now, but Sam has a confused look.
He got cut in half.
Yeah, he did, but they brought him back. They brought him back in the Clone Wars series. Basically,
George Lucas was in charge of the Clone Wars series, wasn't he?
I think he might have been. I know he. I can't remember exactly when Disney took over. But a lot of it was actually, from what I've heard, a lot of fans demanded that he come back. A lot of people, there was a lot of fan demand.
Why?
Because they thought he was such a cool character and that he should have had more.
I was talking about George. We got
sidetracked.
We got a little separated as to what we were talking about. I thought you meant a lot of fans were
no fans don't
that George Lucas come back.
No. The only reason I would want him to come back is to fix his original trilogy the way it was before, or at least a hybrid, as you can find on the internet nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I have downloaded the. There's a what?
You may not want to say that. It might be illegal.
No, it's legal because he's not.
Because he's an idiot.
He's not making money off of it.
Okay.
He's expressly set everything up so that he's not making money off of it. And I mean, it's technically legal for you to download if you own a copy.
Okay.
But there is you can cut all that part out.
Yeah.
There is a version of the original trilogy called the Despecialized Edition, where a team has gone through all three of those movies and restored everything to the theatrical version. And, they've managed to find original copies of the film reel and gone through and scanned each individual frame, and it looks really nice. Have I shown you that yet?
No, you haven't shown me that. You haven't had a chance to. We can take a look at it later.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to do that tonight.
No, not tonight. We'll do it some...
Well, no, because it's being copied onto my new computer now.
Yep.
And that's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it is, while it's a nice version, there were some changes, especially in episode 5 and episode 6, that I thought were actually pretty good. Especially, there was a lot in episode 5.
Episode 5, the one big change that I loved was taking the original actor who was playing Palpatine, the Emperor, and they switched it to Ian, who played the Emperor in episode 6, and then of course 1 through 3, which I thought was a great idea to do. And then
and it looks a lot better than what the original Emperor looked like, because it was it was a woman with a hood and something on her face. It really does look bad.
And sounds like a man.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
messed with her voice a bit, but
Yeah.
it looks
It looks nothing like what he looks like in the episode 6.
well, and even ignoring what he looks like in episode 6, it just looks bad in general.
It does look bad in general. But anyway,
Also,
we got way off from what we were going with.
we
This
can
is
make-
why it's called Sidetracked.
we can make this a big Star Wars
Yeah, Star Wars thing.
podcast. Also, the that monster on Hoth.
Oh yeah, I don't remember what that one was called. That was one that I can't remember. It was. I know about the Tauntauns. Those are the things they rode on.
Is it the Wampa?
Oh, wait, was it a Wampa? Yeah, that's right. It was a Wampa. It had to be a Wampa.
Oh, my phone got Papa.
Papa, sorry.
Papa.
Wampa.
Papa John's Pizza.
Pop-
Here you go.
I don't want Papa John's pizza. Wampa. Yeah, it was Wampa.
It was a Wampa. Yep, it was a Wampa.
So, the other thing in episode 5 was they redid the entire Wampa scene.
Yep.
Minus the part that focused on Luke getting his lightsaber back. But, in the original theatrical version, the Wampa really isn't isn't really shown.
Yeah, he's off screen the most of the time.
Yeah, and when they redid that scene, they have all new stop motion, and you see it after its arm is cut off, and it really looks nice.
It does look nice. That was one thing I liked about that too.
Also, one thing that I know not everyone agrees with, but I think that the updates they did to Cloud
Yes,
City were nice.
I liked those too. That
I
was
mean-
because in the original one, when Luke's walking through like the hallway, they had nothing there, and then they
There-
put something there, and I thought that was really nice.
Well, there weren't any windows.
Yeah, no
You've
windows.
Got
It
this
felt
big floating city in the sky, and there
no
are no
windows.
And I get that some of those corridors aren't going to have windows
Yeah.
because they're interior.
Yeah,
But
it's just nice
to think
have.
that that the entire time they were in Cloud City, they
Yeah.
didn't hit a single exterior wall.
Mm-hmm.
It, kind of unrealistic.
Yeah, unrealistic there, but which I forget. Is Cloud City? It's a floating city, right? There's no
Right.
yeah, because when I for some reason when I was thinking about is it like in the Jetsons those giant
Yeah,
things?
basically, it's really even the same shape
It is.
as the houses in the houses, buildings, everything.
Yeah, in the Jetsons. But doesn't that mean there has to be something connected to the bottom? And isn't it just a gassy planet? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, there's nothing connected to the bottom, but I don't know about the planet's surface.
yeah, I don't if there even is, because
Well,
isn't gas-based planets don't have a surface? Now we're getting into the
eh,
science of things.
I think, if I remember correctly, Jupiter does
Have some
have like a core.
a core, yeah.
Well, obviously, it has to have a core to just
Yeah.
hold it together
Yeah.
in general.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you have to go down quite a ways into Jupiter to get to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, well, I mean, gas planets are going to be bigger,
Yeah.
and they're generally going to have pretty strong gravity to hold the gas in
True.
place. At least I assume. I may be wrong. I'm not an astronomer.
Yeah.
But so I don't think that the city. I don't think you could have a city like that above a gas planet.
Yeah. But again, this is Star Wars. This is something...
Also, because they have a sky
Mhm.
that changes colors, they have an atmosphere.
Yeah, they've got some sort of.
Well,
atmosphere.
also
They can breathe.
they land outside and they
Mm.
can breathe. So obviously they
Mm.
have an atmosphere,
Mm.
which kind of tells me that it's not a gas planet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's, we really don't need to get into the science of things about it, considering this is a movie and
Or
it's just to be
whatever.
entertaining.
I mean, there is
That's
a
where the
lot.
suspension of disbelief comes in.
Yeah, but I mean, with Star Wars, it is a very heavily established franchise,
Mm-hmm.
and
universe.
there is science and um, facts and figures behind a lot of these things.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's the whatever the planet is that
I think the
Cloud
planet's name-
City is above. It has a name.
Yeah, it's Bespin. We were talking a little bit about this before we started. The funny thing about Star Wars fans being a lot of the, as you know, Star Wars has a huge fan base and has some of the most dedicated fans out there.
Arguable, but
Let me. What do you mean by arguable?
there are a lot of fandoms that would claim that they have the most dedicated fans.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but yeah, again, could be debatable. But the funny thing is, and I think actually probably when you think about it, a lot of fandoms might have it, but people love to complain about Star Wars.
Yeah.
In fact, I was reading about the reaction about J.J. Abrams returning for Episode 9 of the new trilogy, and I saw a lot. No, it's 9 because this is Episode 8.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Yeah, because returning for Episode 9, and I saw a lot of people getting really angry about it, just because a lot of the complaint being, oh, he's just gonna make another thing from like the original trilogy or something, because that's basically what Force Awakens was. It was basically retelling A New Hope, which
To an extent.
to an
Yeah,
extent, there's comparisons. I see the comparisons. Don't get me wrong. I see the comparisons. I just don't think it's justified to say, oh, it's the same movie.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same, but
I mean, everybody has the right to their opinion on that. So
there are some heavy similarities.
there are very heavy similarities. I will not deny that, because as much as I don't agree with some of the opinions about it being the same thing, I will definitely say their points are very valid, because there are some pretty heavy similarities between the two.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, going back to the J.J. Abrams thing, I like J.J. Abrams.
I did too.
He has come quite a ways in his directing ability.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the main movie that I think back to is his first Star Wars or Star Trek reboot movie. It was a good movie, but visually it was kind of annoying. And that was back when he was doing constant lens flares.
Yes, that's the joke I've seen on the internet. If this was directed by J.J. Abrams and the lens flare kept showing up, and it was like, jeez.
And I think it was the second Star Trek movie was when he first stopped using the lens flares.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why people think that lens flares add anything. And I mean, obviously J.J. Abrams has seen the light. Not every director has, but between how the movies look visually and just his directing overall, I have my faith in J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I've got my
for Episode 9.
Yeah,
and I know this isn't something people are complaining about. Well, they might be. But I feel bad for the previous directors on episode 9 because they had apparently gotten quite a bit of shooting done, and then they were fired for whatever reason, and now they're going through and reshooting a whole bunch of scenes, and it's probably going to be a very expensive movie. Not that it matters because
Yeah.
it's Star Wars and it's going to make that money back up.
Oh yeah.
But still,
Mm-hmm.
you know, obviously within the industry, you want to be done on time and under budget.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's entirely possible that that won't happen
Yeah.
with this,
With
with
what?
episode 9.
Yeah.
Well, did they push it back?
Push what back?
The release date?
I don't remember. I don't think they did. They might have though. I'll have to check into that.
If they haven't yet, I bet they will.
Yeah.
But I can't. I can imagine that they blew through their original budget with going through and reshooting scenes, and you know, you get a new director on.
Mm-hmm.
It is only fair that you let them go through and reshoot scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, the director is basically in charge of the movie.
Yeah. How do you think this? How do you think The Last Jedi is going to perform, as far as the box office goes? Do you think it's going to beat the record for The Force Awakens? Because I've read online that some people think that it won't, as far as the tracking.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, obviously, The Force Awakens did very well.
Yeah,
And
it had a lot going for it too. This was after how big of a hiatus of without Star Wars again? Let's see, 10 years.
10 years.
10-year hiatus, because Revenge of the Sith was the last one that came out in 2005, and The Force Awakens came out 2 years ago in 2015.
Man, I can't believe it's been 2 years.
I know already. How do you think critics are going to find it? Do you think, as far as Rotten Tomatoes score, you think it's going to be as high of a score, about the same range as Force Awakens was, or do you think it's going to be a little bit lower, or even a little bit higher?
I mean, it's really hard to say. I'm going to assume that it's going to be pretty close to what The Force Awakens was, but with changing directors,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's
Rian Johnson was the one who was assigned to it before, right? Oh, you mean? Or are you saying from changing
from 7 to 8?
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, from different directors.
I mean, you know, George Lucas directed the
All
first.
6. Yep, all 6. The original saga,
Yeah.
I like to call it.
And, you know, now we're getting different people coming in
Mm-hmm.
to direct this. And it's really hard to say because there's not going to be a real consistency with directing style,
Mm-hmm.
which, you know, has a very big...
Which has worked out before.
It has a very big effect as to how the movie's going to do.
I'd say I'm going to make my prediction. My prediction, I think, is just obviously it's going to perform very well at the box office. I think, honestly, the way with the trailers that we've seen, the way it is, I will be very surprised if it gets anything lower than 85% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised at that.
I mean,
Fun fact, actually, I remember that I was reading on that article about the box office performance. The Empire Strikes Back, which a lot of majority of fans, from what I've heard, that is consistently the best movie out of all of George Lucas's films. The Empire Strikes Back was the best out of the entire Star Wars saga, and but it did not make as much money as A New Hope did when it first came out in the theater.
Hmm.
So that might be another thing that'll happen here. Is a reasoning behind that.
That's really weird because you'd think with, I mean, when the first Star Wars came out
In 1977.
it, there wasn't the following.
Yeah, there was no following.
Behind it.
Yeah.
There wasn't a plan for a sequel at the time.
Yeah, heck, Fox didn't even think it was going to perform well. Fox had no faith in it. And then they were proven wrong.
But when Empire came out, it had that huge following.
Exactly.
And then in the theaters, it came up with the subtitle, Episode 5, and people were like, what?
Yep.
What?
Yep, the crawl. Because the Fox did not want the crawl in the first one. They did not want it.
Well,
and then he, of course, as we know, he later put that in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm more talking about why is it Episode 5 when this is the second movie?
Yeah, that too. That's very confusing.
I'm not remotely worried. I don't think it honestly matters how well one movie does compared to a different one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been 2 years since we had our last one. We had Rogue One last year, which
it's not even in the same timeline. I mean, like, okay,
time period.
Time period. Thank you. That's a better word for it. Time period.
And we've kind of been away from the new trilogy.
Yeah, we've been away from it for quite a while, and now we're coming back into it. And it's just going to be the thing. I'm not worried about how it's going to perform. I'm just worried about the backlash that might come from it, because I just don't want more fan hate coming out.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about what they're going to go with, because, again, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Luke's going to turn to the dark side. It just doesn't make sense. And as I saw on comments, it would ruin his character and his arc that he had from episode 4 to 6. That would ruin the whole arc that he did. It would pretty much ruin Luke's legacy if he were to turn to the dark side. Mm-hmm. But I remember when I watched the trailer the first time, and the fact that it's time for the Jedi to end. And I wanted to tell you this. I think I might have. I'm not sure, but my theory was that Luke is going to be the last Jedi. He is the last Jedi, but Rey is going to be something different. Rey is going to be a blend of the dark side and the light side. Because the way she was like, because in the trailer it talked about saying, it's like, feel, what do you see? And it says, she says, I see light, I see dark, I see a balance. And when she says a balance, I'm thinking it's going to be pretty much the whole yin yang thing. Balance your light with your dark, because that's one thing I love about Star Wars is it blends so well with human nature. We all have a light and a dark side to us. We have things that will tap into our anger, tap to our hates. Because, I mean, look at the world we are in today. The world we're in, I see a lot of hate out there. And guess what? It's just like Yoda said, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. People are afraid of differences and change these days. That has led to anger. You see riots, you see shootings out there. You lead to hate. You're ending it like the white supremacist stuff going on in the world today. You've got all that hate surrounding, and then guess who's suffering? Everyone else in the world is suffering from it. We are suffering from it. That's what I love about Star Wars. The parallels with it is just this is why I'm very passionate about this thing, because it is so tied into it, into what you see in the world today.
Also, I want you to continue with the yin yang thing.
Yeah,
And
but there's
I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I absolutely do not support any of ISIS's views.
no, don't
But
support.
there are, and this isn't just limited to ISIS. This is, Taliban, Al Qaeda as well. Not everyone in there is just this evil person bent to destroy the Western world.
Mm-hmm.
There are, a lot of local,
Mm-hmm.
people who just don't have money and are trying to do anything that they can to help support their family.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, that can sometimes mean working for these terrible organizations.
Mm-hmm.
But, really, they are still good people.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Going off
So
of the.
it's a real balance.
Yeah, there is a balance to that. Because here's the thing, and this is what I always say about people, and this has been my belief actually since I was a kid. I have always and wholeheartedly believe I've pretty much got this from Star Wars. You are capable of great good, and you are capable of great evil. It is what you have. It's what you have to choose. You make those choices. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: sometimes there are outside forces that influence your choice, and like you're saying,
and there are times where you don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
So pulling it back to Star Wars, and you're
light in the dark, balancing it.
You're talking about the Jedi. I mean, the Jedi still, they still do kill people.
Yeah, they do kill people. Yep.
So there is a balance within a Jedi.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't think that, Rey's going to become the gray Jedi.
I think she...
That, and, they wouldn't really want to spend half a movie explaining the lore of gray Jedi.
Yeah. I think if they are going to make her like that, it is just going to not be mentioned. She's just something else.
I mean, my personal theory on this is that Rey is the last Jedi, and that, I guess this kind of doesn't work out since we have another movie coming, but, maybe this will be kind of the end of Star Wars. Like, there aren't really any Jedi left, and it would be nearly impossible with, basically one Jedi per generation now to rebuild the Jedi. And so maybe this is going to be Luke working Rey through the ways of the Jedi, and hopefully they will go through the lightsaber building process on screen.
That'd be nice,
because that's been, since they cut that out of Episode 6, people have been complaining ever since that. Oh, we haven't gotten to see a lightsaber being built.
Unless you watch the cartoon.
But, well...
But we've never seen it live action, not on screen.
I think that'd be a really...
I think that'd be a
Cool.
really cool process to see. But the problem is, does she really need to make one? Because she's got Luke's original, and Luke, assuming he still has his green lightsaber from Episode 6, we see her using his lightsaber.
Yeah.
Well,
was it his?
pretty sure if you look back on the trailer,
'Cause, obviously the hilt is...
is Anakin's,
Yeah.
and now to Rey.
I'd like to think that maybe this is, Luke training one last Jedi to take down,
The New Order. Isn't that?
I was going to say the forces of evil.
Oh well, yeah,
But-
okay.
Um,
But that is the forces of evil in this.
yes.
Meanwhile, in the Legion of Doom, how did they figure out our plans? Solomon Grundy might have spilled the beans on that one.
Anyway, so Rey taking down the last forces of evil. Obviously, that can't all happen in
one
this
more
movie.
Yep.
Because we have another movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's half a theory, really.
Yeah.
I still kind of think that Rey is the last Jedi.
Pretty sure it was confirmed that Luke is. But
We'll see.
we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see.
There was a lot of misdirection in that trailer.
Yeah, there was. And, and plus things, it could be fake news that I was seeing on there saying about, Luke has been confirmed as the last Jedi and all that stuff.
I kind of doubt that, there's going to be anything confirmed because it's Disney, and Disney's going to keep that stuff under tight lock and key.
Yep. Good old Disney. Okay, so what do you think the big twist is going to be? Because there's somebody keeps saying there's going to be a huge twist, and everybody's been speculating what the big twist is going to be. Should we throw some?
I think there's going to be a big.
Oh, and then
you know what I think would make a good big twist.
and no, it has nothing. Please tell me, it has nothing to do with Jar Jar Binks.
No.
Stop making those things, please. I'm
No.
sick of it.
A plot twist I'd love to see is Kylo Ren coming to the light side, and then Kylo Ren and Rey teaming up to defeat Snoke.
But in this movie,
Well,
or in the next one?
I mean Kylo Ren in this movie turning over to the dark side, and then next movie they team up and defeat Snoke.
You just said dark side,
You know what I meant.
light side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be interesting. That would be definitely a surprise, I would say. And then another thing we got to figure out: who's getting their hand chopped off?
Yeah.
Because in every single second one, with every trilogy that's been in Star Wars, Episode 2, The Attack of the Clones, Anakin lost his arm, his whole arm, not just his whole hand. Like, he lost, to his elbow, pretty much, and then, of course, Luke losing his in Episode 5. Who's going to lose theirs? Obviously, Kylo Ren. He already got a scar on the face, and now he's going to have a cyber arm. Honestly, I'm surprised. He seems so devoted to being like Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
I am surprised he hasn't cut off his own arm yet.
Oh, man.
Where's that deleted scene?
That would be wild.
Yeah, that would be a crazy thing. It's like, you'll never be as good as Darth Vader. You're right. I need robotic limbs. What are you doing?
No, here's what it's going to be. C-3PO is going to lose his red arm.
Oh god! Actually, no. Didn't you see at the end of Force Awakens? He had his gold arm back.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he did.
I didn't recognize him because of his red arm.
Because without the red arm, it'd be funny. He loses his arm, and it's like, well, now I gotta put the red one back on. Dang nabbit!
Oh, that would be stupid.
That would be stupid.
Well, I mean, we'll just kind of have to see.
We'll have to
I
wait and
mean,
see.
with any luck, we'll get this out before
Oh, we'll get it.
um,
We'll definitely get it out
before
before.
the movie premieres.
But
And yeah, that kind of wraps up our first episode of Sidetracked.
Yep.
This will definitely be available on YouTube
Yep.
on our main channel. I'm going to look into it, hopefully get this released on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Yep.
I'm not entirely sure how podcasts or uploading podcasts work on those yet, but
Yep.
I'll look into it and
Yep.
hopefully I can get those on. If they are, and you're watching this on YouTube, there will be links in the description.
Yep.
Um,
We'll try to.
I can put it on SoundCloud as well.
Yep. We'll try to make these as regularly as possible. Again, we don't live very close to each other, so we'll try to make probably multiple episodes as much as we can whenever we get chance. We'll try to get at least, our goal will be, I think, maybe once. Our high goal would be once a month. If we're
twice a month.
Twice a month, maybe if we're gonna aim really high.
Well,
Twice.
okay, maybe not just for this, but like for our main channel.
Yeah.
I think a good goal for reviews would be twice a month.
Twice a month, yeah, good goal.
But I just finished putting together a new computer, so
hopefully,
editing should go a little faster now.
Yeah.
So, you know, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can now follow us on Twitter. I don't know if you've been posting.
I have not been
much
posting much. I'll need to.
Yeah, I'll post some stuff about my new computer on there, and or the PC Master Race people to look at.
Not sure what movie we'll be reviewing next. We have quite a few on our list that we have a lot to get through.
Yeah. We'll eventually get around to reviewing episode 8, so keep a lookout for that.
Yep. And then, of course, you'll have to look out for when we start doing all of Star Wars, but again, that'll be probably quite a bit, because there's all the new movies that were coming out. Keep an eye out for... we may do a video for Thor Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
We're not sure.
We'll
with Marvel,
see how our schedules go.
With Marvel, we might decide just to start from the beginning and then work our way up to present.
Yeah,
it really depends, but just keep listening, and of course, always make suggestions. If you have an idea of what you would like us to talk about on the podcast, please leave a suggestion in the comments below, or message us on. Leave a comment on Twitter about any suggestions you would like us to talk about on either the podcast or any movies you would like us to review. So, thank you for your time, and this has been Raz My Berries.
Well, this has been Sidetracked.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sponsored by Sidetracked.
No, sponsored by Rasmus. Well, not sponsored.
Yeah.
Anyway, goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.